Welcome back. Stop for a moment. Don't scroll. Don't rush. Hold this coin carefully and look at it closely. This is the 1962 Canadian 1 cent, struck without a mint mark, made of 98% copper, 0.5% tin, and 1.5% zinc. On its reverse, the iconic two maple leaves quietly tell the story of Canada, yet this coin now travels in U.S. collections, sought by collectors who understand its hidden history. It's dirty, worn, and heavily circulated, but those imperfections are proof of decades of real use, proof of survival through everyday hands. At first glance, it may seem like a simple penny, easily overlooked in coin jars, drawers, or old wallets. But every mark, scratch, and faded detail carries a story. This coin was used when Americans and Canadians alike were living through a world on the brink of change, during the post-war era of the early 1960s. Every transaction, from a small coffee to a quick candy purchase, left its trace. That's what makes coins like this resonate with collectors. They are history in the palm of your hand. The maple leaves design isn't just beautiful, it's symbolic. It represents unity, endurance, and the quiet strength of a nation. On a coin that has passed through hundreds of hands, the wear softens the imagery, but it does not erase its meaning. Collectors recognize that a coin's character isn't in perfect shine, it's in the story it carries, the life it has lived, and the subtle uniqueness that sets it apart from millions of ordinary coins. This coin has survived decades of circulation. Imagine the countless pockets, cash registers, and transactions it moved through. Unlike coins kept in albums, this penny lived life. It was spent, it was lost, it was forgotten, and yet it survived. Each nick, each faded line, each bend is proof of authenticity, proof that it is more than metal, more than currency. It is a survivor, quietly holding value far beyond its face. Collectors today seek such coins because they know the power of subtle differences. Weight variations, slight die errors, and circulation patterns make certain Canadian 1 cents far more desirable. What looks ordinary to the eye can hold extraordinary value for those who understand its history. A coin like this is a perfect example of survival combined with rarity, the combination that drives collectors wild. Even in its worn state, the 1962 Canadian 1 cent carries hidden potential. Its copper-rich composition gives it intrinsic worth, and its story gives it emotional and collector appeal. A coin spent during the early 60s in North America has witnessed decades of history, quietly moving from hand to hand, each interaction embedding character and authenticity. That's the kind of coin that makes serious collectors stop, examine, and sometimes pay unexpectedly high prices for. Think about what this coin has survived. It could have been melted for its copper content, lost in a coin jar, or tossed aside during decades of neglect. Instead, it remained. It passed through ordinary life and survived. And because it did, it quietly carries a story and value that few modern coins can match. This survival is part of what makes it so compelling to U.S. collectors. Even though it is Canadian, this coin resonates with U.S. audiences. The story of survival, circulation, and subtle rarity is universal. Collectors are not just buying a coin, they are holding history. They are connecting to an era when coins mattered in daily life, when copper pennies were more than currency, they were a witness to life, trade, and society in North America. Before you ever consider spending or discarding a coin like this, pause. Examine it. Notice the wear, the faded maple leaves, the smooth edges, the tiny imperfections. Every mark is a testament to decades of survival. Every scratch is a footprint in history. For someone with knowledge and patience, this humble penny quietly holds the potential to be worth far more than its face value. The 1962 Canadian 1 cent is proof that extraordinary value can hide in ordinary-looking coins. It shows that history, endurance, and subtle uniqueness matter more than shine or polish. For collectors in the U.S., this coin isn't just a penny, it is a survivor, a story, and a hidden treasure waiting for the right person to recognize it. Welcome back. Stop for a moment. Don't scroll. Don't rush. Hold this coin carefully and really look at it. This is the 1946 Canadian 1 cent, struck without a mint mark, made of 98% copper, 0.5% tin, and 1.5% zinc, with its iconic two maple leaves on the reverse. It's dirty, worn, and heavily circulated, carrying decades of life in every nick, scratch, and faded line. At first glance, it may seem like just another penny, easily forgotten in jars, drawers, and old collections. But each mark whispers history that most people overlook. This coin lived through a pivotal time. Post-World War II North America was changing rapidly. Life was returning to streets and homes, economies were rebuilding, and everyday Americans and Canadians relied on coins like this to pay for small necessities. Every transaction, from a loaf of bread to a cup of coffee, left its trace. This coin wasn't safe in a collection. It was used, spent, and circulated, and because of that, it carries a story that collectors today find irresistible. The maple leaves design isn't just decoration. It's a symbol of endurance, resilience, and quiet national pride. On this worn coin, the edges of the leaves have softened, the tiny veins faded, but the story remains. Every scratch is proof that it survived real life. Collectors know that the beauty of a coin isn't only in shine, it's in what it has endured and the journey it has lived. This 1946 penny has passed through countless hands. Imagine it jingling in pockets, moving across cash registers, paying for dozens of small purchases. Unlike coins that have been hidden in albums, this one lived, and each mark is a footprint in history. Its imperfections are not flaws, they are proof of survival, proof of a coin that has endured ordinary life while millions of others were lost or melted down. Collectors today hunt for coins like this because subtle differences matter. Slight variations in weight, minor die errors, or uneven strikes can make an ordinary-looking Canadian 1 cent a rare and valuable treasure. The survival of this coin, combined with its age and circulation, makes it far more desirable than many newer, shinier coins that have never seen real life. Even worn, even dirty, this coin carries hidden potential. Its copper-rich composition gives it intrinsic value, and its story gives it emotional and collector appeal. A coin that circulated immediately after the war has witnessed decades of North American history. Each time it changed hands, it added character, subtle imperfections that modern minting could never replicate. Think about what this coin survived. It could have been melted for its copper, lost in a pocket, tossed away, or forgotten. Instead, it survived. And because it did, it quietly holds potential value that ordinary collectors might never realize. That's the kind of coin that makes serious U.S. collectors stop, examine, and sometimes pay a premium for. Though Canadian by origin, this coin resonates deeply with U.S. collectors. The story of endurance, circulation, and subtle rarity is universal. It's not just metal, it's a connection to an era when coins mattered, when each cent had a story. This is what turns ordinary change into collector treasure. Before you spend or discard a coin like this, take a closer look. Examine the faded maple leaves, the softened edges, and the tiny scratches. Every mark tells a story. Every dent, every worn detail is proof that this coin survived decades. For the knowledgeable collector, it quietly holds the potential to be worth far more than its face value. The 1946 Canadian 1 cent is more than a penny. It is a survivor, a witness to history, and a hidden treasure waiting for the right eyes to recognize it. For U.S. collectors, this coin is proof that extraordinary value can hide in the most ordinary-looking coins, quietly waiting for someone who understands history, survival, and subtle uniqueness. Welcome back. Stop for a moment. Don't scroll. Don't rush. Hold this coin carefully. Look closely at it. This is the 1943 Canadian 1 cent, struck without a mint mark, composed of 98% copper, 0.5% tin, and 1.5% zinc, with its iconic two maple leaves on the reverse. It's dirty, worn, and heavily circulated, carrying decades of life in every scratch, faded edge, and mark. At first glance, it may seem ordinary, easily overlooked in jars, drawers, or coin collections. But every detail whispers history that most people never notice. This coin lived through one of the most challenging periods in modern history. 1943 was the middle of World War II, a time when every cent counted. Money changed hands constantly, helping families survive, supporting soldiers, and fueling daily life. Imagine this coin paying for small purchases while the world outside was at war, quietly participating in history without anyone realizing its future value. The maple leaves design is more than decoration. It symbolizes endurance, strength, and the quiet resilience of a nation. On a coin worn from circulation, the leaves are softened, the details faded, yet the story remains. Collectors understand that these imperfections are not flaws. They are proof of a coin's journey, its life, and its authenticity. This 1943 penny has passed through countless pockets, wallets, and cash registers. Unlike coins preserved in albums, this one lived. Each scratch, each dent, each faded line is evidence of survival, evidence that this coin endured life while millions of others were lost, melted down, or forgotten. Its imperfections are its history, and that history adds immense appeal for collectors. Collectors pay close attention to subtle variations in coins like this. Slight differences in weight, die errors, or circulation marks make certain Canadian 1 cents extremely valuable. What seems ordinary to a casual observer can be a rare treasure to those who understand its history. This coin is proof that survival and rarity combined can create extraordinary potential. Even in its worn, dirty state, this coin carries hidden value. Its copper-rich composition gives it intrinsic worth, and its story gives it emotional and collector appeal. Every time it changed hands, it accumulated character. Every scratch, nick, and faded detail is part of a narrative that modern coins simply cannot replicate. Think about what this coin survived. It could have been melted for its copper, lost in a drawer, or tossed aside during decades of neglect. Instead, it endured. It passed through ordinary life and survived. That endurance is exactly what makes it so compelling to serious U.S. collectors, who recognize the value in authenticity and history. Although Canadian by origin, this coin appeals strongly to U.S. collectors. The story of survival, circulation, and subtle rarity transcends borders. Collectors are not buying just metal, they are holding a piece of history, a survivor from a turbulent era, a coin that quietly witnessed decades of North American life. Before you ever spend or discard a coin like this, pause. Examine it closely. Notice the faded maple leaves, the soft edges, and the small scratches. Every mark is a footprint in time. Every detail is a testament to decades of survival. For someone with the knowledge and patience, this humble penny can quietly hold value far beyond its face. The 1943 Canadian 1 cent is proof that extraordinary value can hide in the most ordinary-looking coins. It's a survivor, a witness, and a hidden treasure. For U.S. collectors, it demonstrates that history, endurance, and subtle uniqueness are far more important than shine or polish. This coin is waiting for the right person to recognize its hidden fortune and story.